Hannah, you need to leave. This property isn't yours anymore, and frankly, it never should have been. My mother said that in front of everyone, aunts, uncles, cousins, all of them staring at me across the long table in my grandmother's garden. My father didn't even look at me when he added, "We've made our decision. Derek will inherit the villa. You're no longer part of this family's future." I just sat there, frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe. And that's when I realized my parents were willing to erase me completely. Over $6 million. My name is Hannah. I'm 24 years old. And 6 months ago, I lost the only person in my family who ever truly loved me. My grandmother owned this beautiful coastal villa. White stone walls, blue shutters, gardens that smelled like rosemary and salt air. I spent every summer there as a kid. She'd make lemonade and we'd sit on this old wooden bench overlooking the water, and she'd tell me stories about her life. I'm an interior designer, not a fancy one. I work for a small firm, do residential projects, make enough to cover my rent and not much else. My parents never thought much of that. They wanted me to do something serious, something corporate, something like my older brother Derek. Derek's 29. He works in finance. He wears expensive suits and drives a car that costs more than I make in 2 years. He's always been the favorite, the one who made something of himself. I didn't have his 6-figure salary. I didn't have my parents' approval. But I had something they didn't count on. When my grandmother got sick, I was the one who showed up. Every week. I'd bring groceries, sit with her, listen to her talk about the past. My parents visited maybe twice. Derek sent flowers once. I thought when she died, maybe we'd come together. Grieve as a family, support each other. Instead, greed tore us apart. Has your family ever treated you like this? Share your story below. 2 weeks after the funeral, my parents called me, said we needed to have a family meeting at the villa. Something about estate stuff. I drove up the coast road with the windows down, trying not to cry every time I passed a familiar landmark. The little bakery where Grandma used to buy bread. The flower stand where she'd pick up fresh lilies. When I pulled up to the villa, I saw my parents' car already there, and Derek's, and another car I didn't recognize. I walked into the garden and found them all standing there. My mother in a black dress, arms crossed. My father in business casual, checking his watch. Derek leaning against the wall, hands in his pockets, and a woman in a blazer I'd never seen before, holding a tablet. "Hannah?" my mother said, not smiling. "Good, we can start." "What's going on?" I asked. The woman with the tablet stepped forward. "I'm Christine Moore with Coastal Realty Group." My stomach dropped. "We're listing the villa," my father said, matter of fact. "Derek will be inheriting the property, and we're moving forward with the sale." I couldn't process the words at first. "What?" "It's decided," my mother said. "Derek deserves this. He's accomplished so much. He can actually manage an asset like this." "But Grandma always said—" I started. "You were what?" My mother cut me off sharply. "Her little helper? That doesn't entitle you to millions, Hannah." My father nodded. "Derek can actually maintain a property like this. You can barely afford your rent." I looked at Derek. He just stood there, silent, arms crossed, a small, smug smile on his face. "I want to see the will," I said, my voice shaking. "The will is being handled," my father said. "This is a family decision. We're co-owners of the estate. We have the authority." "That's not—" "If you can't accept this," my mother interrupted, "then you're not part of this family. Choose now, Hannah." The real estate agent shifted uncomfortably, looking down at her tablet. I felt heat rising in my face, tears burning behind my eyes. "So you're just Taking it? Taking what she wanted me to have? Your grandmother was elderly, my mother said, confused. We're managing her affairs properly now. I won't accept this, I said. My father's expression went cold, ice cold. Then you're disowned. Pack up whatever things you left here and don't come back. The word hit me like a slap. Disowned. I looked at Derek one more time. He wouldn't even meet my eyes. I left, throat tight, vision blurred, hands shaking so hard I could barely grip the steering wheel. They chose money over me, but they had no idea what I was about to find. 2 weeks later, I found out about the memorial service from Instagram. My cousin posted a photo, the villa's garden, tables with white flowers, a framed picture of my grandmother surrounded by candles. Celebrating a beautiful life today, the caption read. I wasn't invited. I stared at my phone, chest tight, and made a decision. I drove to the villa, parked down the street, walked up the driveway past the cars I recognized. My mother met me at the door. You're not welcome here, she said. I thought we were clear. This is for Grandma, I said. I just want to say goodbye. Your grandmother would be ashamed of how selfish you're being. Leave. Now. Derek appeared behind her, fake concern all over his face. Hannah, don't make this harder. Just go. I looked past them into the house. Everything was different. The photos my grandmother had on the mantel, gone. Her favorite chair, moved. The wall color, repainted. They'd already started erasing her. I took a breath, pulled out my phone, and snapped a few quick photos before my mother stepped forward and blocked my view. Leave, she hissed. I left. But I had the photos. A month later, I ran into them at a restaurant downtown. It was one of those awful coincidences. I was meeting a friend for dinner, walked in and saw my entire family at a long table near the windows. Parents, Derek, aunts and uncles. My Aunt Linda saw me first. Hannah, she said, smiling. Oh, sweetie, how are you doing? Before I could answer, my mother's voice cut across the table. Oh, Hannah's doing what she always does, barely scraping by while expecting handouts. The table went quiet. Derek leaned back in his chair, smirking. Some people earn their inheritance, he said. Others think they deserve it just for being nice. A few people laughed. Uncomfortable, scattered laughs. My father shook his head. We tried to raise her with values, but entitlement is hard to cure. I felt my face burn. I never wanted handouts, I said, my voice tight. I wanted what Grandma intended. My mother waved her hand dismissively. Your grandmother was elderly and confused. We're managing her affairs properly now. I turned and walked out before anyone could see me cry. As I passed the table, I heard my uncle mutter, Poor girl, she really thought she'd get that villa. I sat in my car in the parking lot and screamed. Then I started taking screenshots. Every text, every email, every conversation. I was done being the doormat. 3 days later, Derek called me. His voice was warm, friendly. It felt wrong. Hey, Hannah, I know things have been rough, but I was thinking, maybe you could help me with something. What? I asked, suspicious. I need to inventory Grandma's things. You know, the antiques, the art. You're good at that stuff, right? With your design background? I should have said no. But I missed her. I missed being in that house. I missed feeling close to her memory. Okay, I said. When I got there, Derek handed me a clipboard and a tape measure. Just need values on everything, he said casually, for estate purposes. I worked for 3 hours, cataloging, appraising, writing notes on each piece. Halfway through, I stopped. Wait, you're using me for free labor. Derek smiled. Come on, we're still family, right? Don't you want Grandma's things valued properly? He was good. He always knew exactly how to twist the guilt. I finished the inventory, left feeling hollow. A week later, I saw the auction receipts. Derek had sold 6 of Grandma's most valuable pieces, used my appraisal notes to set the prices, pocketed the entire profit. I called him, furious. He laughed. Should have asked for payment up front. Not my fault you're naive, sis. I hung up, hands shaking. And that's when I called Maria. Maria had been my grandmother's housekeeper for 20 years. She'd known me since I was a kid. When I told her what was happening, her voice shook. Your grandmother would be heartbroken, she said. She had plans for you, mija. What do you mean? I asked. Meet me tomorrow. I have something for you. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about something my grandmother had said, 3 months before she died. We were sitting on the garden bench, looking out at the water. She'd grabbed my hand, squeezed it tight. No matter what happens, she'd said, remember the garden bench. Always the garden bench. The time. I thought it was just sentiment. That bench was our spot. But now, I sat up in bed, heart racing. The last time I'd been at the villa, the bench had been shoved to the side, almost discarded. And then I remembered something else. Years ago, my grandmother had given me a key, a small brass key on a blue ribbon. For emergencies only, she'd said. A safe deposit box? I'd completely forgotten. I tore through my closet, my desk drawers, my jewelry box. Finally, I found it, tucked in an old envelope at the back of a drawer. What my parents didn't know was that Grandma never did anything without a plan. And I was about to discover exactly what she'd been protecting. I met Maria at a small cafe outside of town, somewhere my family would never go. She slid a sealed envelope across the table. The handwriting on the front made my throat close up. For Hannah only, to be opened, if my daughter contests my wishes. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter and a business card. Bernard Lawson, estate attorney. I started reading. My darling Hannah, if you're reading this, it means your mother has done exactly what I feared. I know my daughter's greed, sweetheart. I know she'll try to take what I meant for you. Don't let her. I updated my will 6 months ago. The villa is yours. Only yours. I left a secured copy with Mr. Lawson. He's been instructed to contact you if there's any interference. You earned this, Hannah, not with money or status, with love, with presence, with care. Fight for this. Don't let them erase you. All my love, Grandma. I was crying before I finished. Maria reached across the table and squeezed my hand. She knew. Maria whispered. She always knew. I called Mr. Lawson that afternoon. I've been expecting your call, he said. His office was small, organized, filled with law books and framed degrees. He sat across from me, hands folded. Your grandmother was very thorough, he said. She knew this might happen. He slid a document across the desk. The will. Legal, notarized, witnessed by 3 people, including her doctor. Dated 6 months before her death. I leave my entire estate, including the coastal villa, to my granddaughter Hannah Marie, who showed me true love without expectation of gain. I read it 3 times. My parents said they're co-owners, I said. They said they have authority. They lied. Mr. Lawson said bluntly. They have no ownership. They've been stalling probate, hoping to sell before the will executes. Can they do that? Not legally, but they're betting you won't know your rights, or won't fight. I looked up at him. I'll fight. He smiled. Good. Let's file the claim. While I was meeting with lawyers, my parents were moving fast. I found the villa listed online. $6.2 million. Stunning coastal estate, motivated sellers. Derek posted on Instagram, new family chapter, big changes coming. My mother posted a throwback photo of the villa with the caption, grateful, for family who understand true value. I screenshotted everything. Through a cousin who still talked to me, I heard their plan. Split the money 50-50. Parents and Derek, 0 to me. They were telling everyone I'd signed away my claim because I was too difficult. And then the offer came in. Accepted. Closing date 2 weeks. I sat in my apartment staring at the listing and felt like I was losing her all over again. Mr. Lawson called. "It's time," he said. "We stop this now." We filed an emergency injunction. The court granted it 48 hours before closing. I didn't want a public scene. I wanted to see their faces up close. Mr. Lawson sent a formal letter. Mandatory estate settlement meeting. Attendance required. The day of the meeting, I got there early. Mr. Lawson's conference room was plain. Long table, chairs, a box of tissues on the side table. My parents walked in 10 minutes late. Confident, irritated. "What's this about?" my mother snapped. "We have a closing in 2 days. This better be important." My father spotted me and scowled. "Why is she here? This doesn't involve her." Derek followed them in, smirking. "Hannah, seriously? Let it go already." Mr. Lawson gestured to the chairs. "Actually, this meeting involves Hannah entirely. Please sit." Their attorney looked confused, unprepared. Mr. Lawson opened a folder. He slid the will across the table. "This document was executed 6 months before your mother's death," he said. "Authenticated, notarized, witnessed by 3 parties, including her personal physician." He read aloud, "I leave my entire estate, including the coastal villa, to my granddaughter Hannah Marie, who showed me true love without expectation of gain." My mother's face went white. That's not the will." "We have the will." "You have an outdated version from 8 years ago," Mr. Lawson said calmly. "This supersedes it. It was filed with probate court 2 days ago." My father stood up. "This is fraud. My mother would never—" I spoke for the first time. My voice was steady, cold. "Grandma would never what, Dad? Choose me over you?" "She did. Because I loved her, not her bank account." My mother's composure cracked. "You manipulated a sick, confused old woman?" Mr. Lawson cut her off sharply. "I'd be very careful, Mrs. Patterson. We have her doctor's certification of full mental competency. What we also have is evidence of your attempted sale of property you don't legally own." He slid more documents across the table. Listing agreements, offer contracts. Derek started to panic. "We didn't forge anything. We're her children. We have inheritance rights." I pulled out my phone. "You told everyone I signed away my claim," I said. "Let's see that document." "Oh, wait. It doesn't exist, does it?" I showed them the screenshots, their posts, their messages, their lies. I read my mother's caption aloud mockingly. "Grateful for family who understand true value." "You were right, Mom. Grandma understood true value. Perfectly. That's exactly why she left everything to me." Their attorney asked to see proof of co-ownership. My parents had nothing. Fumbling, stammering, excuses. My father's voice softened. "Hannah, we're still family. Surely we can work this out reasonably. Split things fairly?" I laughed, bitter and sharp. "Fairly? Like you fairly split the profit when Derek sold Grandma's antiques using my appraisal? Like you fairly included me in her memorial service?" My mother grasped for control. We were protecting family assets for everyone's benefit. I stood up. "You were protecting yourselves. You disowned me, Mom. Remember? You told me to choose between your greed and my family. I chose my dignity. Mr. Lawson closed the folder. The sale is canceled effective immediately. Hannah is the sole legal owner. Any further interference will result in criminal and civil litigation. Derek looked desperate. Hannah, come on. $6 million. You're really keeping all of it after everything what, Derek? Humiliated me? Excluded me? Used me for free work? Yeah, I'm keeping what Grandma wanted me to have. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Angry tears. You're destroying this family. I turned toward the door. No, Mom. You destroyed it when you picked money over your own daughter. I'm just accepting reality. My father tried one last time. Your grandmother would have wanted us to reconcile. I looked back. Grandma wanted me to have her home. Everything else? Just noise. My mother's voice turned venomous. If you go through with this, you'll have no family left. I met her eyes one last time. I stopped having a family the day you disowned me. This just makes it official. I walked out with Mr. Lawson. Behind me, silence, stunned, powerless, complete. 2 months later, I moved into the villa. I took my time restoring it. Kept Grandma's style, her colors, her warmth. Added my own touches here and there. Soft curtains, new cushions on the couch, fresh flowers in the kitchen. I moved the garden bench back to its place of honor, overlooking the water. My parents sent one email. Stiff, vague, half an apology buried in legal language. Perhaps we can discuss the situation like adults. I deleted it without responding. Derek called 3 times. I blocked him after the 3rd. Some of my extended family reached out. A few apologized for staying silent, for enabling my parents. I let some of them back in. Others, I didn't. Quality over obligation. I heard through a mutual acquaintance that my parents were humiliated, avoiding social events, their relationship with Derek strained. My mother apparently told someone, we didn't think she'd actually fight back. When I heard that, I smiled. That's the problem, I said. They never thought of me at all. Last weekend, I hosted a small dinner party. Maria came, Mr. Lawson, a few close friends, the cousins who stood by me. We sat in the garden as the sun set over the water. Toasted to my grandmother's memory. I sat on our bench afterward, alone, ocean breeze in my hair. The villa was worth $6 million, but what it really gave me was priceless. Proof that I mattered to someone who truly saw me. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. Where are you watching from? Drop it below. I always check. If your family ever chose money over you, you're not alone. Tell me your story in the comments. I want to hear it. This villa taught me something important. Inheritance isn't about dollar signs. It's about who saw your worth when everyone else was blind. Hit subscribe if you believe real family is chosen, not just shared DNA. I read every single comment. Your story matters. Share it with this community. Thank you for listening to mine. I'll see you in the next one.